I'm excited to teach you a little about divorce. I'm attorney Jeffrey M. Jacobson, and I've been practicing law in Illinois for almost 30 years. I've been on NBC, ABC, WBBM, WCPT, MSNBC, and other radio, TV, and newspapers. So let's get started on today's segment now. Divorce is not an easy thing to go through. It is especially difficult when you are kept in the dark about the process. So I want to go through some things that you should know that I've learned in my almost 30 years of practicing law. First thing is, the death of a marriage takes time to mourn. If you knew the marriage was dead for a while, you may be almost over with the mourning process. If you just found out, you are just beginning the mourning process. The time to deal with a divorce is different for everyone. So the first thing you need to do is you need to be prepared. This means talk to an attorney that's able to explain the whole process. So in this video, I want to go through some of the terms that you need to be familiar with. So the next step is discovery. And I want to go through several of the elements of the discovery. So the first thing we're going to go over is a financial affidavit, financial disclosure. Then we'll go over interrogatories, requests for production of documents, requests to omit, depositions, and finally subpoenas. So let's get started. The first step of a divorce is the filing of a petition. Someone has to file that to begin the process. A petition is a document that basically sets forth the grounds for the divorce and basic information about the marriage. Here's an example of what a petition first page may look like. Once the petition is filed, your attorney will either have the sheriff or a special process server serve your spouse with a notice. However, your spouse can also be contacted and the service of the sheriff or the special process server can be skipped. Now, the other spouse doesn't need to be served with the petition. The other spouse can agree to file an appearance, and the appearance now lets the court know that they have jurisdiction over that spouse. Once the spouse files an appearance, then the parties disclose their financial information to each other. This financial disclosure, and it's called different names in different counties, is basically some of the information about the marriage, the financial situation of the parties, the monthly expenses, any disabilities the person has, how long they've worked, what their paycheck is. So it's a pretty encompassing document that gets the parties somewhat up to speed on what the financial situation is. Then after that, your attorney can send interrogatories to the other spouse. An interrogatory is questions in writing that the other spouse has to answer within 28 days. And here's an example of what an interrogatory looks like. There's two types of interrogatories. The Illinois Supreme Court has a standard form that pretty much everyone sends out. However, your situation may be different and your attorney may need to customize the interrogatories. In addition to interrogatories, there's requests to produce, and that's a list of documents that one spouse wants from the other spouse. So it could be tax returns, bank account statements, payroll information, credit card statements. It could be any documents that you want. There is no standard form for this. It needs to be customized for your situation. And then the next set of discovery items are requests to omit. That's where one spouse sends questions to the other spouse that they either have to omit or deny. Once again, these have to be done in 28 days. If they're not done in 28 days, there's a good chance that the court will deem all the questions answered as if the person put down yes to it. So they're very critical pieces of discovery. And then there's depositions, and that's where the attorney sits down with the other side and asks them all sorts of questions related to the divorce. There's a court reporter present. It's typically done in the attorney's office. The court reporter takes down everything that is said, and if you want to purchase it, the court reporter puts together what's referred to as a transcript of the deposition. That could be used to impeach the person later on at trial. And then finally, there's subpoenas. These are, and here's an example of what a subpoena looks like. They're sent to anyone that has relevant information, requesting that information back. The time frame for responding to a subpoena could be anything from 17 days to 30 days, depending upon what it is. So that's basically some of the terms you need to know for discovery. Make sure to like and subscribe so that you can find out when the next video comes out on the process of domestic relations and divorce. Thanks.